what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. And I'm seeing on my TV news, this particular one here, you're seeing all kind of other shit like it. And it's probably going on your TV news too. So in my area, the Pittsburgh News, they're talking about Ringgold School again. They're evacuating the school every time some fucking buddy makes a threat. You know, we had another one on the news. They're evacuating the fucking schools every single time somebody says one fucking thing, or even if there's a rumor of something. That's all the fuck it takes anymore. And I want to make this video just, I'm going to leave it up to you, not force it down your throat that another agenda could be going on a couple of levels. I actually think there is. But before we go into what they call conspiracy theories, let's look at some of the facts. Let's get real here, what actually is going on. The very idea that every fucking little thing that somebody says, now they're evacuating the schools. And, okay, to put in one scenario the facts here, and say even if you're a school kid, or if you've got kids watching this, or if you're a school kid, the realities of what's actually going on here, why you shouldn't do this, and why the kid you go to school with shouldn't be doing it, why they shouldn't be fucking doing that shit in the bathrooms. They shouldn't be evacuating a whole fucking school over it. I mean, yeah, there were a few shootings that happened, I understand that, but I think some of these young kids are doing that doing this shit on purpose. To talk in parentheses here, they're little communist and neo-communist and democratic socialist cult leaders on social media. These young kids want communism. I think they can be recruiting these kids to anonymously do that shit on purpose. But putting all that shit aside, I'll talk about that shit later. Okay, the reality of why you shouldn't do this. It's not a fucking joke. Some kids, they think it's funny. They're just doing this shit and they get caught. I mean, I think some of them should actually get spanked until they cry. Give them a spanking until they cry over national television is what they should damn do. But these ones that get caught, say you don't catch them all. How if you're going to do this right and then you don't get caught, how this could affect you. You're going to reap what you sow. And then while everybody else, like all of us, that the police can eventually are going to be able to just stop anybody they feel like it on the street and pat them down. And they're not going to be nice about it. You're going to go through it. Pretty much threatening violence. If you ever had a search done for you before just because of he said, she said. But any of you kids that are dumb enough to do this shit, they're pushing it on along. I think some of them are doing it on purpose because consider this. If you're dumb enough to do this shit, right? If you're a kid dumb enough to do this shit, you don't get caught. And you know what the hell they're doing. Evacuating the schools, eventually say everybody gets pat down. It don't matter who you are. Guess what? You don't get caught, right? And you think it's funny. You're going to be older, out of high school, whoever knows when. Or you create, like, eventually, you're even if you say you're unwittingly pushing along a communist world, and they're going to start patting everybody down. Your ass will get patted down eventually, right? It could be more than that, damn near every day eventually. And then if you're doing that, you don't realize. You just think it's funny. It's a childish joke. I mean, too old enough to understand. It's not a fucking joke because say you're not part of an agenda and you don't have any little cult leader friends that want communism telling you to do shit. You think the shit's funny and don't know how to grow up. You go and do this shit and then it happens that you're going to be... there's going to be a world you're going to be living in that it's going to fucking come back to roost. And then the rest of us that have to go through the same shit, pat down everywhere, whether you're going to an airport or not. They could stop you in the street anytime they feel like it. Some busybody because of how you look or whatever. Just make up a lie and then all of a sudden, you know. Then you get cops that either, if they're not narcissistic and violent and looking for somebody that looks a certain way, that they got expanded reasons to pat people down. If you putting it aside that you might have some of those, the other scenario, you get ones that ain't like that, they don't want to be like that, and they're so damn scared that they're going to get killed, but they don't act like they're scared, so they go into the mode, so to speak. You know what I mean? You might get authorities out there or somebody with a badge, to be fair, that are too nice for their own good. I mean, you've seen things on the news where some rookie cop that was just in a crossfire, you know, like running from somebody, cops are chasing him, and they shoot down some young rookie cop that didn't, probably an alright dude, you know, just getting in there, you know, you see his picture. That fucking shit happens too. And yes, there are fucking people that are damn going crazy that are doing some fucked up things as it is. Yeah, and the ones that are going to these places and doing these shootings, everybody from a Walmart, these different ones now, they're pushing it right along. You got enough of trouble with that as it is, and you got some school kids going to be saying that shit because they think it's funny, or so they can close the school, and they won't have to go to school. It's like, and they think the damn shit's a joke. So these kids don't. So, yeah, you got one set of kids that don't realize what the fuck they're doing, and they're doing shit like that. And they don't realize they're going to be paving the way later in life. Say they, like I said, say they do that shit and never get caught. A few of their buddies get caught, say they don't get caught. They think it's funny because they never get caught, and maybe may take a few years down the line, a new era goes on. They start giving authorities more of these powers because causing mass hysteria, getting everybody scared, and yeah, we got your dumbasses to thank for that, and then you're going to live in the world that you created, and it's going to be all your fault. And then I wouldn't be surprised too, like if any of your school buddies or anybody else down the line finds out that you're doing shit like that, and then causing everybody else to get like patted down and everything. Not that I condone this, but if I did that shit, that would be my fucking luck. A bunch of people, if they find out I did it, and say I get in trouble, that half of my peers in my town or whatever, they think I caused that, yeah, you're gonna like beat me senseless or whatever, even though it's against the law for them to do so. That should be an incentive too. There should be some inner common sense or inner kind of like a secret fear of that somewhere along the line. But I think a lot of people's secret fears, some of them are good for good things, and then some people's secret fears are totally ass backwards. Why some people will do this, totally fearless and with no regard, and yet some stupid fucking shit people are fucking doing, right? That really, you gotta wonder why they shouldn't have a healthy sense of paranoia or fear to stay out of this shit, you know. So the fucking shit, I think, goes both ways, people. But yes, there's a reality of shit that's really going on that people are scared of, and I think it's a little bit of everything. People are using that, and everything I said gives other people there is people out there with an agenda that they're more than happy to exploit this. Yes, they're exploiting it right now. Like I said, you got these kids, apart from these kids that maybe they don't even realize what the fuck they're doing, and they get older. Man, what the hell? That was so stupid. Why did I do that? You got some other ones. They're going on social media now, and they're communicating. No different than you're getting these people that are getting caught talking, what do you call it, private chat thingy, you know what I mean, with somebody they think that's a terrorist because they think they want to be a terrorist, and they're talking to undercover FBI, you know, you see that. But you got these little fuckers out there that they're on social media, they worship Antifa, they worship like this radical environmentalism, this radical democratic socialism. These young kids, these little socialists, you get these fucking little socialist kids, and they're on this social media, and their little cult leaders are actually telling all these kids to do this shit. And really, some of them should be really investigated or scoped out by the FBI. Like I said, if they're doing, I think a lot of them are doing that on purpose, and I guess maybe a lot of the FBI people are kind of on it. But what they're doing in this world is you've got all this authorities, FBI, and everything, and they're going to have they're creating all this backlogged stuff that they're investigating, and they can't have an investigator on everything, and they're going to get people doing so much shit that putting aside whether you think the FBI or anybody in government is evil, okay, if you take what should be investigated, right now, putting all that other bullshit aside, when people are starting to do so much shit that it's taken all these authorities forever to go through, so they're going to start like screening damn near everybody, every little place you are, like that. You know what I mean? You can imagine what the rest is, but yeah, there's plenty of room to talk about how it ain't hard that people can just cause mass hysteria on purpose. They don't plan on getting caught. There's so many of them doing this shit, and they know they're going to close a fucking school every single fucking time because, like I said, shit has happened. What are you going to say? Just ignore it too? But you don't want the people to be so paranoid they're clearing out every school, so that's how they got you. You're damned no matter what you think. And then anything that you try to point out certain things to, you will be accused of not having any empathy for this side. You'll have it dictated. They have it dictated to who and what to have empathy for, and who the hell not to now. And they want to dictate to you what you should be scared of and what not. And like people are doing now, they don't want to see some crazy people that are doing some bad things right now, right away. They don't want to see that happening. But yeah, there's room for a lot of these kids to be doing that shit on purpose, and people, because their little cult leaders are telling them to do. And you never know, you're going to have radical, corrupt individuals that want to get into our government, take it over completely. That's why we have so many different parties in our government now. No matter who gets elected president, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, what our government is supposed to have is, say, whichever side gets president or takes the power, that we shouldn't have any kind of people to be able to make their laws, that anywhere, which side becomes president or leaders or anything, that there has to be some on check of something to keep its powers in check, that they can't force the whole idealism on somebody where they can get authorities just to go out and do shit. Whether you worship Trump or worship Bernie Sanders or fucking whoever the hell that there are other people that are trying to get president now. I mean, but you got there's people out there that even inside government, that if they got control of government, that would like to run it their way and phase us into communism. And you got these kids think they know it all. They want all this communism, and they think that they're going to have a throne in their own honor. They're fucking dreaming. They're just going to be a regular subject. They think that they're going to be These kids think they're so fucking stupid. They're going to listen to their little cult leaders discreetly telling them to phone in all these threats, like in larger numbers. Get the whole. There's an agenda open for damn near anybody who wants to exploit it. Get everybody so scared, make everybody evacuate every single thing, and there's like I said, nobody wants to see anything happen like all those other kind of shootings or anything, but yet is a very convenient platform to nurture and encourage paranoia. For a common good, you're dictated now that you should be taught a fear and a paranoia, hysteria, so you can cling to protection from whoever the hell else, and then very dangerous thought, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's two ways to look at it. Yeah, you got people doing stupid shit because they think it's funny, or you got some asshole that wakes up hating the world, that goes out somewhere and starts shooting everybody and shit. Yeah, you're gonna have that. And then meantime, you got these other opportunists out there that have their agenda, and they're on social media as young kids that they think that there's going to be some new world, and they're going to get a crown, they're going to be honored. They're going to be a bunch of massive faces in the crowd, you know. Get real. These kids need to get real, grow up, and get a life, you know what I mean? But yeah, there is, the opportunity is there for people to exploit it. Can't say that enough. So you cling to the protection of whoever. Yeah, and there's just people that get their thrills out of creating mass hysteria too. So many opportunities for somebody that has the infused divine right to be an authority. They want to get into some office. They want to encourage a fear, and they want to be your savior and your protector. You know, it's like... And then, yeah, that's why you got all these like smart mouth kids on, like, say, either the internet or out there in the world with their skinny arms and legs and their t-shirts and shorts and their whatever, their cargo pants and their t-shirts and shorts, you know, and certain with their hair and the different facial hair. Some of it will have the facial hair. They're trying to look like some kind of look like Che Guevara or whatever communist leader or moral platform they stand for. That's why you got whatever form, you got these smart mouth kids that getting all nasty with you because they think that they got some daddy that they're going to usher in a new world, you know what I mean, too. It's an extreme, that's what I call the extreme left, and then you got the extreme right that's like the radical organized Christianity of that a Messiah and a Christ that's going to look just like them, and all their suits and their steel voices, and where the people that, some of them that hang on to Jesus Christ to a point, they go through real trials, and they're out in the weather and they have real trials, not on their fancy studios, that they think, oh, Christ, their image of Christ is going to be all for them. Then you got the radical left that's a little communist that worship either Che Guevara or some other, or whatever belief that they use to argue with the far right. Let's see. They're diehard worshipping Dawkins and Darwin and for their own, and paint that into their own image, so to speak, their own idol that they want to make everybody else worship. So you got the far left Messiah that they want to bring forth, create all this shit to bring forth, and then you got the far right, this side. You can be so far right and then so far left, and any of us that looking at both sides that got people on the top trying to exploit shit, and then they don't want to hear that, you know what I mean?
We're walking through this life that's nothing but a game. All know the entity, though no one speaks its name. We're told that we are born, we live and then we die. What is between all these? We just have to hide. right.